Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
It's Tuesday. That is right. It is a Tuesday edition of the Nightly Morning Show here on twitch.tv/nerdynightly. If you're catching this on our YouTube channel or listening to our podcast feed, I'm sorry for that intro. But also, please come watch the show live Monday through Friday for just 1.5 more weeks over on twitch.tv/nerdynightly. Come join the chat after next Friday, which is the 26th of February. Starting March 1st, the show will be once a week. We're going to Monday mornings and Monday mornings only. And that'll be a 90-minute show-ish.
60 to 90 minutes, depending on, what we've got.
Switching up the format.
Yeah, we're going to hit our 100th episode, and then go to a weekly format, so...
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for that, because it will mean more sleeping in.
More time for activities!
More time for activities! Like the Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm, and the video games.
How are you doing, Clarus?
I'm, good. Good. Yeah, I can't complain. I'm not excited to go out in that later, but I'm gonna play, Pokemon later.
She's talking about the snow. So... It's very cold outside in Canada today.
Yes.
You're playing Pokemons?
I am playing Pokemon later today, which I'm super excited for.
That's over at twitch.tv/
Claris Dracaris.
Yeah, if you don't know how to spell that, it's up here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For the podcast listeners, figure it out.
Wow. How are you doing? Salty? Feeling a little salty?
I've been a little sassy this morning.
Yeah,
I'm feeling good. I don't know. I feel good. I slept well last night, which doesn't happen very often for me.
Yay.
I feel like people who watch this show learn about nerd news and David's erratic sleep patterns.
Yep. Yeah. That is mostly it. It's like nerd news, the Crudes too. And David's what men David are attracted to, and also how well he sleeps. Those are the 4 things you learn on this show. Am I wrong?
No, that's true. True.
I know it is, and I love you.
There's just so many men I'm attracted to. It's tough.
It's tough. There's so many good-looking dudes out there,
Richard Simstead says, it all rhymes. News, crudes, dudes, and snooze.
That is beautiful.
That's my life.
That should be your podcast.
News, crudes, dudes, and snooze?
Yeah.
The problem is, Crudes is only going to be a story for like another month.
I know, which is tragic.
And it's going to be huge when it passes Tenet. I'm very excited for it to pass Tenet, because I think it's going to.
I hope it does.
I think it's going to. It's going to be like 3 more weeks, and then it'll pass Tenet. Which will be very fun for me. Mm-hmm. And like, just me. I don't know if anyone else actually cares about this, but I care a lot.
I think it's great. I'm enjoying this.
I'm doing good. Good. I played a lot of Valheim again last night with Scary Daydream, Tommy 4_Tsunami, and Mad Lad Scanny. And it was a blast. That game is, it officially crossed 2 million sales in its first 2 weeks as an independent game.
Damn!
Which means they've made many, many millions of dollars.
Damn!
Like literally, this independent game has, it's what, $20 a copy? So it's made what, $40 million?
Damn.
No, obviously, like, the developers don't keep all that money.
Yeah, but still.
They can't have expected this. Like,
we're gonna have
there's no way they could have possibly planned to have a $40 million 2-week launch.
No, and the thing is, we're gonna probably buy it again, so that we can play it together.
Yeah.
If we have time tonight, you should actually, like, show it to me. Because it seems like a game that I would get lost in and really enjoy. So I'm excited to get into Valheim.
Very, very fun. We're just kind of like building our little Viking society. It's funny. Like, it's amazing how I've never played Minecraft, but I kind of get it now. Like the repetitive farming and then the building and then the like being creative about your little houses. I was building a tower. I was trying to build like my own little Isengard last night. because I wanted to take the hobbits there. And,
of course. The hobbits.
To Isengard, guard. Yeah, it was interesting. It was a good time, and I was just chopping down trees for like a half hour, and I was like, this is great. I just want to be a lumberjack, and I'm okay. I work all night and I sleep all day. So Wargames in the chat is asking, hey, did anyone ever actually figure out Tenet? Or is it the king of films that you will never understand regardless of the number of times that you see it?
Yes.
No.
So all right.
It's not.
Yeah, nobody understands Tenet. No,
I understand Tenet.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Because Tenet doesn't make sense.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It's just flawed. There's a difference between having wrong science that is disprovable and having here. Okay, you know what? There isn't a lot of news today, so let's talk about Tenet. In Tenet, I was actually thinking of making a YouTube video about this, so I'm just gonna go through why Tenet doesn't work. In Tenet, we repeatedly see the premise of Tenet, for those of you who don't know, is that there are people in the future who have inverted objects and are sending them back through time in order to fight a war in the past because they are upset about global warming.
Which doesn't make sense, but
doesn't make sense. But here's where here's where Tenet gets its own science wrong. Is there are multiple sequences in which you see a bullet shot in reverse time into something, and the crack that it leaves moves back in time, right? Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that that's not how the objects that the bullet interacts with would function. The crack in the glass would still be moving forward in time because the glass itself has not been inverted, and the impact of the bullet would not invert the object that it hits.
Right.
So as soon as the bullet stopped moving in the brick concrete, its momentum would be carried forward in time by the thing it is encased in. It would not perpetually move all of that concrete backwards because of the its own inversion.
Right.
It wouldn't invert the things that it hits. And we see this in things like the car crash sequences, where the cars crash into each other, and then the car that is hit by the inverted car is still moving forward.
Yeah.
And so the problem with Tenet becomes one of, you cannot have certain objects force other objects to go back in time if they haven't been inverted, because you've set up that other objects don't do that.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Don't know if that matters to anyone but me, but that Tenet science doesn't work.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So that's your answer. It doesn't work.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work. It's very cool. Yeah. It's shot really well. The sound design's terrible. But
it's nice to like look at. So, you know, if you're like cleaning and you want something like pretty to look at on your TV, you could put it on.
Yeah.
And don't bother paying attention because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is it, Wargamester says, is it a case of the film suffering from Deus Ex Machina and failing to suspend belief for effects? No.
Yes. Well, okay.
There's no Deus Ex Machina in it.
No, there's no Deus Ex Machina, but the whole suspension of disbelief thing is a big issue for the movie because, you know, a lot of these kinds of films ask you to a certain degree to suspend your disbelief and be like, okay, cool, that works, that's fine. The problem with Tenet is that it tries so hard to explain it to you and tell you what it is that you can't suspend your disbelief.
Because there's no characters, right? The characters are all exposition machines that are there to like tell you what's going on, but what they're saying doesn't make any sense.
Yes,
and it contradicts the things that other characters are saying. And there's literally a line where a character in the movie is like, there's a literally line where a character in the movie goes, sorry. There's a line that I'm trying to remember what the line is. He's like, don't worry about it too much. Don't think about it too much. You're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to try and explain it. And you're like, well, why would you...
Yeah. Don't bother. Like...
Deus Ex Machina simply means because the writer wrote it that way. Typically, when people say Deus Ex Machina, they're talking about a moment in which... it refers to like a moment in which a character or something appears to save the day. Through no action of the protagonist, right? Yeah. So a Deus Ex Machina is like the eagles showing up in the Hobbits to save the dwarves. The eagles, most of the time that the eagles show up in the Lord of the Rings is a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
It's when like an act of God essentially saves the protagonist through no action of their own.
Yeah, without any setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, Potomsian, the other thing is also, yes, the sound design is terrible. There are people who are talking and saying very important things, and you cannot understand them because they're wearing a mask or they're standing right next to a motor. Like, it just...
And they're giving important exposition, but there's literally, like, happening, and you're like, why?
Like,
Why?
I don't know what's being said.
Yeah.
So, yes, the act of God type Deus Ex Machina.
But yeah, it's just, it's a movie that pretends it's very smart.
Yeah.
But is actually kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who loves Christopher Nolan. Like, I'm not, like, ragging on Christopher Nolan. It's a valiant attempt, and it is one of the most beautifully shot movies the last few years.
It looks really cool. The effects are really neat. The moving backwards thing, honestly, you know, if someone you know has Tenet, I mean, I wouldn't, like, spend a bunch of money to see
I would put it on
like,
with closed captioning on and turn the volume down.
Yeah, and like just look at the visuals. The visuals are really impressive, very cool. Yeah, it's a flawed movie.
Yeah, it is. And that is the news about a 7-month-old movie. Should we get into...
Hey, it was fun.
Should we get into the news?
Let's do it.
All right. Y'all, I don't know how y'all are going to feel about this. I don't know how you're going to feel about this. But USA Today's reporter, Soraya Wilson, was having a conversation with Rian Johnson over a Zoom call. And in it, Rian Johnson confirmed that he is still working on his Star Wars trilogy, despite the fact that there has been no announcement from Lucasfilm, and there is no confirmation that this is still happening from the official company. But Rian Johnson claims that he is still writing it. And as a Last Jedi fan, I say good. I like Rian Johnson a lot. Knives Out is fantastic. So is Looper. Everything he's made, in my opinion, is very good. But what do you think, Clarus?
Well, I agree. Knives Out, very good movie. Like, we actually really enjoyed that when we saw it on the ship. And it's also the kind of movie that I can get into. The cast was stacked. However... I do not like those Star Wars movies. I think they are bad movies, and I think that the writing is bad.
And I disagree. And we're still married.
Somehow we're still struggling through it. Here's the thing.
Struggling? We're doing great.
I know, we're fine. Here's the thing. Right now I have a movie night going with my friends once a week. First we went through The Lord of the Rings, and now we're going through Star Wars. We just finished Solo, which means we've got Rogue One, and then we've got the original series. And then we have to get to the sequels, which none of us are excited about because we all hate them. So I told my friends, I was like, so just so you know, when we watch these, I will be working. I am going to have a notepad, and I am going to make a YouTube essay on why each movie is bad. It's a bad movie, and I will convince, hopefully, my husband.
You won't.
No, I'm sure I won't convince him. But I will, I feel very passionately about this, and so I'm going to turn it into a project. I'm going to use this hatred to fuel the fire. It's going to be good. I don't know when that's going to come out, but look forward to it.
I trust Rian Johnson as a filmmaker to continue to tell interesting stories that push the boundaries on genre storytelling. I think that he has consistently used different genres to be more thematic than those genres typically are. Looper does that with time travel. Knives Out does that with like the crime noir thriller. It has a lot to say about society. It has a lot to say about family. It has a lot to say about like who we choose as our family. And I think that The Last Jedi also has a lot of those elements. I agree there's moments of Last Jedi that don't work for me, for sure. But the core stuff in Last Jedi really does work for me, as I've said millions of times. If you don't know how I feel about The Last Jedi at this point, I don't know. But I don't know. I just trust Rian Johnson to be interesting. And sometimes that's better for me than being like making a movie that everybody loves.
Here's the thing, it wasn't interesting because it was like a recycled story from the original trilogy.
You think The Last Jedi was a recycled story?
In Force Awakens,
way?
Force Awakens and
Rian Johnson
Last Jedi.
did not write Force Awakens. He was not involved.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. I mean, that sucks that he had that set up. So that's unfortunate. But the first two prequel
Force
movies
Awakens is the one that most people like.
Force Awakens?
Yeah, most
It's
people
the
like The
worst
Force
one.
Awakens.
No, sorry. The Force Awakens, no. Last Jedi is the worst one. Force Awakens does a very poor job of setting things up.
There are elements of truth in that, for sure.
Yeah, it does a poor job of
because
setting
you're like,
things up.
how did all this happen? And they're like, don't worry about it. Big Glazer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes. Mm-hmm.
So wait, no. How is The Last Jedi a rehash of something? It's a wildly different take on Star Wars.
Well, it's a continuation of what they've already set up, and
that doesn't make it a rehash, though.
Yeah, but the elements of the story, like when you watch The Force Awakens and you see that there are certain characters that are kind of a ripoff of their original characters, it carries through the rest of the movies because now that's how you see them. Like Rey is Luke, like they're just.
I would argue they're very different characters.
They're literally the same like plot story. It's like a person on like a desert planet who like life is rough, and then
that is every superhero, action, fiction, fantasy star. Every character starts out in the same place. Why? It's because it's like the hero of a thousand faces thing.
All right, I will do a comparison essay.
I would argue that Luke and Rey are very different. I would argue that they took like Luke's traits and they split them in half, and they gave half to Rey and half to Finn. And then they took Han Solo and split him in half and gave half to Rey and half to Finn. And those two characters are like the otherworld version of Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. And that's how they differentiated them. But like Dark Dispatch saying, like Harry Potter is Luke Skywalker. They're literally the same character. Harry Potter, I'm not saying it rips off Star Wars, but there's a lot in it that is very Star Wars. There's a great TikTok about it.
Yeah, okay.
Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker are both orphans that are dropped off by an old wizard at their uncle and aunt's place who don't really want them there because...
Don't really want them there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never felt that aspect of it, but...
Luke has it better, but like it is weird that like Dumbledore and Obi-Wan Kenobi have so much in common. They both lie about their real intentions.
Yeah.
Like they're remarkably similar.
Yeah, I've actually I didn't see this TikTok, so I haven't thought about the like similarities between Star Wars and Harry Potter. But yeah, I can definitely see that. I just like even if like The Force Awakens had been better, it still would have been ruined by The Last Jedi because it's that bad. You know what I mean?
JP Jags is saying, do we really need to bring up The Last Jedi again? The only reason it came up is that Rian Johnson is apparently still making his trilogy of Star Wars films, and now we're in the weeds about Star Wars. But I agree with you, JP Jags. Rebels is an underrated Star Wars.
Well, we're going to watch it.
Eventually. We have to get through Clone Wars first.
Clone Wars, and then...
we got some seasons of animated shows to get you through.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna get on that. But
I really love Rebels. It's so beautiful. Ezra is such a great character. Kanan is such a great character. Hera, Sabine, like the whole crew. Mm-hmm. It's just Rebels is so good. Mm-hmm. Rebels, you're good. You're Gucci. And my girl Ahsoka's in it, so I'm a happy boy.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about my Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I like Knives Out, which I think is the only other movie of his that I've seen.
Yeah.
And so...
Looper's really good. You'd like Looper.
Yeah, and so what my hope is that he just had a poor setup with The Force Awakens, and like then that's why The Last Jedi was bad, which, fair. I would actually be interested to see what he's working on whenever we get that.
A lot of and that's fair. Like a lot of the things that people don't like about The Last Jedi revolve around the Luke storyline. And to be fair to Rian Johnson, he did not get to choose where that started, right? Like
exactly.
He had to explain why Luke was hiding on an island. And, like, I don't know that there was going to be a version of that was going to satisfy everyone.
Yeah, I just don't think, like, the blue milk was very necessary. But, like...
The green milk?
The
blue milk is in the original. Green milk is in the...
whatever he's, like, drinking out of the, like, creature's titties. It was weird. It was really weird. Was very funny. It was so off-putting. Anyways.
I didn't mind that, but I've camped a lot, so I'm like, whatever. You eat what you eat.
I have camped a lot as well. I don't think that has anything to do with this. I think you just love Star Wars.
No, I just didn't mind that moment. Like, it didn't bug me to watch someone drink milk. Like, that's like life.
It
just doesn't bug me. I also love that has become canon now, that, like, the Jedi took that milk out into the universe and, like, gave it to people. And that's why people on Tatooine drink blue milk to this day, is because, like, old Jedis used to bring the green milk around. Yeah.
Sure.
Rockmage says milk comes from titties, though. There's really no other way to obtain it.
No, like, that's fair. But they could have definitely done that scene a lot differently. I'm just saying. Like, I'll rewrite it.
Dark Dispatch, I've been, like, hunting. I don't know. Like, you don't... You get food where you get food when you're in the woods. It's not, if there's not other people out there making it for you, it's tough. You just live your life. And he's living his life. He's not harming the ecosystem. He's a part of it. I thought that moment showed that he wasn't harming the ecosystem. He was just existing within it. Mm-hmm. And he'd found a way to, like, exist on Octo, and they were showing, like, his day-to-day, and I didn't mind it. I liked that Rey was disgusted by it. Like you are Rey in this story. And I am Luke. Sucking the milk out of the titty.
Not a Mary Sue. I resent
She's not a Mary Sue. Oh my god. Max Landis. First of all, controversy noted, like, maybe not the best dude, but Max Landis started this thing that Rey is a Mary Sue, and that's not what a Mary Sue is, and it, like, has bugged me to this day, that there are all these people who now use Mary Sue to mean something that it doesn't mean.
It's a character who just happens to be able to do whatever they need to do.
That's not what a Mary Sue is. That's not what it was for the entirety of its life until Max Landis started saying that about Rey. It was Max Landis being sexist about a female character. A Mary Sue is a writer writing themselves into the fan fiction that they are writing of something else. A Mary Sue is literally when a female fan fiction writer back in the fan fiction days would write themselves into their Harry Potter fan fiction.
Unfortunately, the chat, including my aunt who is a writer and publisher, is disagreeing with you.
No. I remember when it shifted. I remember the moment where culturally everyone suddenly was like, oh yeah, Rey's a Mary Sue, I guess we're changing the definition of the word that the internet has been using for 15 years. It was very annoying. No, and look, the original Mary Sue character is a super powered, yes, but it is that woman writing herself into the story. And it was like she wanted to be the protagonist of a story.
Well,
is the author's idealized self-insertion. I don't think that J.J. Abrams is like, you know what? Deep down, I am Rey. Deep in my...
I want that.
Deep in my soul, I am Rey Skywalker.
I want that. I want it to be true. I really do. Yeah, anyways, I'm hoping that maybe these movies will be better, and that the reason The Last Jedi was bad is because it was a bad setup, and maybe he'll be able to pull something...
Rian Johnson is a very talented filmmaker who makes very good movies, and I'm not worried.
Alright.
The Last Jedi is a good movie. It is. It has some of the most beautiful moments in Star Wars. It is one of the better written Star Wars movies overall. Just in terms of, like, the dialogue feeling like real humans, more so than some of the other Star Wars movies written by,
I'm sorry,
other people.
Wait, the dialogue in the sequels?
The dialogue in Last Jedi is more, like, realistic things people say than, say, Attack of the Clones. I will die on that hill.
Then, like, yes.
George Lucas writes weird dialogue.
Yes.
He just does.
Yes, but that's a low bar. It's a very low bar. I hate sand. Like, it's coarse and it's
oh my god. Okay. Alright, we need to move on. Unless you guys just want to argue about this the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could go either way. No, I'll save that for my visual essay on YouTube.
Visual essay.
Just wait for it. It's gonna happen. In a few months, just because it's going to be a few weeks before we get to those movies, but
wait,
I'll
one second. Frankenbeans, if you're going to bring up the examples of bad dialogue, you can't bring up one of the greatest moments in Star Wars, where he says, everything is fine here, how are you? That moment is fire. Harrison Ford delivers that whole scene perfectly. That moment in Cell Block 1128 is
he sells it.
Perfect. It's so funny. It is, to this day, hilarious.
He sells it, for sure. I can't imagine, like, looking at that and reading it and being like, top-notch dialogue.
You know who's a Mary Sue? Samwise Gamgee. Name one thing Samwise is bad at. I dare you.
Bad at?
Yeah, name one. Samwise is good at everything. He's cooks.
Mistrusting.
He cleans. He gardens. No, he's not mistrusting. He was right.
No, but here's the thing.
He was 100% correct.
Here's the thing.
He didn't eat the bread.
I would actually argue that if Sam had been nicer to Gollum, that he may not have betrayed them. Obviously, I don't know that. That's like an impossible thing to know, but I would argue that Sam probably played a part in that betrayal.
I don't agree with that. I don't think Gollum was ever going to let Frodo... was never going to make a play for the ring. He had to.
No, but here's the thing. He like...
That's like
Smeagol,
saying, like...
Smeagol took over and Gollum went away.
That's
and
not...
it was like...
No, the ring got too strong when they got closer to Mount Doom.
I don't think it was the proximity to Mount Doom. I think it was honestly the, like, trauma of being, like, captured by Faramir and his men.
I don't know. I think Samwise Gamgee is perfect, and you could never convince me otherwise, and he is a Mary Sue confirmed.
Okay.
Let's play this game, Internet. Let's go. Let's go, Internet. Bring it.
God.
Bring
All right.
it.
What other news do we have?
There's not much, y'all.
Can you tell? Oh, God.
I could literally talk about this.
Yes, Sam actually cooked the sausages, and then Nazgul came to Weathertop. That is true.
I have been arguing with people about The Last Jedi for over 3 years. Samwise did not cook those sausages by himself. That was a group decision.
It was a group decision.
Merry and Pippin were a part of that failure.
Yeah.
I would argue that Sam's worst moments in the series are Merry and Pippin's fault.
Oh my God. I love this. This is great. This is why, you know, we're going to have such an interesting marriage.
Because we can argue about this forever. We don't even need new movies to come out. We could just sit here every day and argue about this one thing. Yeah. And we're both stubborn enough that we would never get off of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what marriage is, right? It's just normal people argue about dumb shit, like the stuff on the floor. And we're just kind of like, okay, but the Last
chip
Jedi,
bag
though.
clip that has been sitting there for like 4 days.
I didn't put it there.
And neither of us have picked it up.
I didn't notice it, okay?
How? It's
fine.
We live in a total mess.
Society.
We live in a mess.
We live in a society.
No, we have to move so much stuff around to do all the filming and stuff that we do.
I know.
That, like, there's just stuff everywhere all the time, and we've both kind of just given up.
Yeah, because we have to do so much maneuvering for all the things that we do. Like, we had to, like, do the podcast in there yesterday. We had to do, like, a self-tape in there yesterday. So everything has to move in between the different... It's a nightmare.
We have an L-shaped couch. You guys can't see this, but we have an L-shaped couch. Yeah. And this light that lights the wall behind us...
literally sits on the couch. It
lives on the couch. And so we just have this full tripod and softbox. But, like, it makes the video look a lot better. To have the light on, right? Yeah. So we have the light on, but we never take it down. It just lives here. Yeah. So there's a whole like section of our couch that we don't use because it's where the light goes. Yep.
We make it work, guys. We make it work.
We try.
It is what it is.
I don't know why I think it's so funny. Y'all, Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 were supposed to film back to back. But they're not going to now. And that is because of Tom Cruise, not because of COVID. Although it is actually because of COVID, but not in the way that you think. The movie Top Gun Maverick was supposed to have come out by now. It was supposed to come out last year. But it got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, right? Like everything else because of COVID. And so now, because of the new release window for Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise can no longer film Mission Impossible 8 on the back of Mission Impossible 7 because of his promotional requirements for Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, okay.
So they're having to change their whole schedule around again because COVID is just the worst.
That's rough. That is so much like reshuffle. Like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see. Like they were like literally planning on filming 2 movies in one go, which is always the better way to do it.
Yeah, because then you don't run into that like mustache problem.
Yeah, that was a reshoot thing. But
I know, but
yeah.
those kinds of things, because it's likely that if the stars of your movies are good, they're going to be doing other work.
100%. And they were trying to do it, but it just doesn't look like it's going to be possible for Mission Impossible 8. I do wonder what this means for Mission Impossible 8 long term. But Mission Impossible 7 probably won't come out until next year, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mission Impossible 8 pushes back their filming to next year to maybe come out in 2023 or 2024. Yeah. I cannot believe we're talking about 2023. You know what comes out in 2023? Another Star Wars film.
Oh, boy.
Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins.
Right.
God, I want a new Star Wars movie. Or I just want Star Wars TV to come back. I miss Mandalorian already. Like, it's only been 2 months, but I'm like...
I miss, Mandalorian. It was just so good.
Where's my weekly Star Wars?
I just want everything Star Wars from now on to be Jon Favreau. Is that, like, too much to ask?
Hero of Wind says, are the Mission Impossible movies any good? I only saw the first one. All right. Yes.
I've never seen one.
They're very good. Mission Impossible 2 is a little rough. It is the Attack of the Clones of the Mission Impossible franchise. But Mission Impossible 3 is great. Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance as the villain in Mission Impossible 3 is like an iconic villain. And then the last few have been like really solid. They're all just, they're really good. They're solid action movies. The stunts are real, so they look really cool. And the last 2 have set up this like ongoing story for the first time that is following through the movies, and is really interesting. And I feel like they've done a lot with Simon Pegg's character, a lot with oh god, what is Ving Rhames' character, and they're telling like a coherent story with these characters that is showing a lot of depth and character inside of an action franchise. They've kind of gone like the opposite way of the Fast and the Furious franchise, where they're getting better over time, but they're getting like slightly more serious and slightly more grounded and interesting, as opposed to the like getting more like ridiculous.
Boom, boom,
And there's lots of boom boom. There's lots of Tom Cruise running. If you want long shots of Tom Cruise running,
I don't.
Yeah.
Didn't know I needed that, but
he runs a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to... So, I don't know if this is true. This is a rumor, and Tom Cruise might hate me for saying it out loud. The Church of Scientology might come after me for this one. But apparently there's a rule that no one's allowed to be running in a shot with Tom Cruise.
Why?
Because they make him, like, look really fast when he's running. And apparently if you put someone next to him and they're running with him, the effect doesn't work, and because he's short.
Gotcha.
So he always has to be so there's a lot of shots of Tom Cruise running by himself.
Do you think like someone has made a YouTube compilation of all the shots of him running?
Yes, it's good. It's very long. There's one sequence where he runs and then he like runs and then he goes up a tower and then he's running on top of a market and then he runs across a building, and it is literally like 5 minutes of a movie of him just running across London, and you're like, I'm in. The music is so good. The Mission Impossible music is so good, but the music in that sequence is so good that he's just running and nothing else is happening, and you're still sitting in the theater like, yeah. I feel like I'm getting cardio in just watching this sequence.
Sweating for ya.
Oh, he never sweats. Tom Cruise does not sweat.
Okay, he glows.
Yeah, he's got the power of Xenu on his side.
Okay.
It's France? That whole sequence took place in France? He does run in London, right? I'm not crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. I thought that big, the building in London was in it that looks like a butt plug, right? There's this giant building in the middle of London, and it looks like a giant butt plug. And I've never understood it.
I've never seen this.
It's a giant butt plug. Here, I'm going to pull it up. Is it called the Gherkin? It's called the Gherkin? No, it's not. I'm Googling the Gherkin. If the butt plug comes up when I Google Gherkin... maybe it's Gherkin building.
Go to images.
Yep. Does that or does that not look like a giant butt plug in the sky?
I mean, it kind of looks more like an alien spaceship, but I can...
It is a butt plug.
Yeah.
And it's called the Gherkin. Jerkin with the gherkin. You know what I mean?
Wow.
This is the morning show. Welcome.
That's tragic.
Oh my god. Technically, it's something like 30 Elizabeth Avenue. That's so funny.
I don't like that.
That's so funny. Yeah, that building is so iconic to me. It's in like all of the Mission Impossible movies. It's in all of the Bond movies now. Because you can't do a panorama of London without seeing this giant
butt plug in
the middle of the city.
Very cute.
And I'm sure when they saw the designs of it, they were like, "Oh, that's gonna be really cool." It wasn't until it was finished that someone looked up and went, "Oh God, my wife has one of those."
This one's just a little bit bigger.
It's a little bit bigger.
Oh dear. Wow, I learned something new today. Richardson has had dinner on the top floor and it was very nice. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's lovely.
Yeah, I ate out there too. I'm
upset with you for that one. I'm upset. This is the morning show.
This derailed so fast. Oh, this is the most inappropriate morning show yet, I think.
God.
I think this tops the dildo talk.
Yeah. We went from Mission Impossible to butt plug. Which, you know what?
Hey, sometimes I look at a butt plug and I go, Mission Impossible.
What? Okay. Sure. I'm sorry, Marvelous Bricks. I apologize. Were originally sold as a miracle cure for headaches, acne, and insanity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vibrators were originally invented to to cure women's hysteria.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank God. You're welcome. God. You know what? I have news. Guys, I have news.
Are you making up the news?
I am not making this up. I have news. This is the news. Guys, I just checked my phone. Wow. So Bad Dragon is actually selling a 2-scale butt plug of the gherkin.
Wait, the scale is in it's the same size or?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Those are going to be able to be shipped out in 2067.
They made more than one?
Yeah, they made more than one, you know. It's, honestly, it's a really impressive feat. You know, it doesn't have all the, like, internal designs because it's not necessary. But it does have the look and feel of the gherkin. You're welcome.
I want to be very clear, that was a Clarus Makes Up the News segment.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm upset now. With myself, mostly.
Fair.
Current topic, Mission Impossible 8 delays filming.
That is what... That is what we were talking about. Yeah. Well, David has officially
I really
quit
hope
the
my
play.
mom's not watching the morning show.
I hope she is.
Oh my god.
I'm
gonna get a call from Trish. Oh,
like,
wow.
David.
Wow. David, what's a butt plug? And I'll be like, thank God you don't know. Oh my god. I said a current topic was a good idea. Richardson, we're working on it. I'm hoping that by the time we get to the weekly show, it'll be easier and we'll have something like that.
Yeah, because we'll actually be able to, like, prepare the show.
There's going to be a new overlay, like, there's going to be a new setup for the show.
Yeah, we just get way too off topic to anticipate. Because, like, then we would need, like, a lower third that comes across that's, like, butt plugs, you know, and just, people would be very confused.
I want to really know how do butt plugs cure acne? Like, I can kind of get... If you told me that there was, like, a way in which a butt plug affected a headache because of, like, a nervous system thing... You know how, like, nerves are connected in weird ways?
Yeah, your whole body, for
like,
sure.
If you told me that, like, there are butt plugs that cure headaches, I could, like, understand that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't believe it right away. I would have to try it first. But...
Obviously.
But I really, like, I really don't get how the butt plug cures acne. That one seems...
Yeah, that one, that's a stretch. A little bit of a stretch.
Also, curing insanity. I feel like that one might have been a little snake oil there.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
But here's the thing. Y'all, this might be a little gross. This is a little sex ed for you. But there is a thing in the men called the prostate. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of nerves in there that can be quite pleasurable to a man. And so if you were to tell me that stimulating those nerves released serotonin for men in a way that helped fight headaches, I would buy that. Like, that is an understandable chemical reaction in the body that you could sell me on.
Yeah.
In a way that...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I was trying to be as scientific as possible there because it was naughty talk. This episode is definitely not going to be monetized on YouTube. But no, like I could buy that. I don't buy curing. Yeah, like Hero One in the chat says, like the idea that a foot massage can cure a headache. I buy that. I just don't buy the acne thing.
Yeah, that makes zero sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I've definitely read that like migraine, that there are some people who can cure their migraines by having an orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that actually.
So anyway, welcome to the Nightly Morning Show where we talk about nerd news.
Yes. Is there any more news?
Why do we always end up talking about sex
actually
stuff?
At the end of the show. We've spent
No, that's it. That's the end of the frickin' show.
That's it.
We can't recover from butt plugs curing headaches and acne and insanity.
You're right. That's actually what they put on the label of the Bad Dragon Gherkin. Yeah. Cures headaches,
Why
acne,
is it called
insanity.
the Gherkin?
That I don't know.
It's such an inappropriate name for that building.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Oh my god.
Because it does not look like a pickle. No, incorrect. That is fake.
How are we so inappropriate as humans and yet still spend so much of our time playing Pokemon on the internet?
Because we are vast and complicated human beings.
We contain multitudes, is that what you're saying?
We contain multitudes. And you know what else? We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Oh, God.
Y'all, thank you for being here for the Nightly Morning Show. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully with not this again. Or hopefully this, if you enjoyed this. If you want us to have like a sex ed podcast, let us know.
Where we just talk about different like buildings that look like sex toys?
No, that would be an episode though. We could do like the top 10 buildings that look like sex toys.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun episode of a podcast.
That would be. Yeah, we could do that.
Our promotional deal with Adam and Eve.
Hey, we'll take sponsors. You know what I mean? Thanks for joining us today, guys. If you missed this show live and you're listening to it on the podcast or watching it on the YouTube, I'm so sorry. But you could have been here live for this over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
You could have been. If you're still watching and if you have not deleted this podcast from your phone and burned your phone, come back and check us out live on twitch.tv/nerdynightly. Yeah. I also play video games over there, and you play video games over at
Claris Jakaris.
That's right. Mm-hmm. As always, y'all, I don't want to put my name on this, but my name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Bye-bye.